excited as we are about growing the economic diversity of Newcastle. I'm sure you're as convinced as we are about the growth potential that we have over the next 30 years. I'm sure you've had a long day so far, so please enjoy the health port treats we've provided. It'll just be what the doctor ordered to get you super engaged and on board with us. So I'm Chanel. And I'll introduce the rest of the health port team to you. So I've got Andrew. Andrew led our primary research and our subject matter interviews. Nick led our presentation material. Dr. Bin Shen led our research. And Brody led our research on API and our financial research on bringing them to Newcastle. And Sam, who led our positioning statements and marketing branding of Newcastle.
I'm going to drop that. Hi Sam, nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
I'll start our presentation with a slide just to give you the context of Newcastle. So as you can see, Newcastle's foundations are in blue collar, manufacturing and industry, and we've now grown to boast world-class universities, healthcare, airports and advanced manufacturing. By leveraging these existing strengths that we have in the region, we propose that we partner those with the development of 3 key precincts within Newcastle. So by implementing one area in education, one in technology and one in research, we can then grow the existing contexts of Newcastle to create our vision of health port. So adding API into the mix. This gives us the opportunity to build on existing infrastructure and industry clustering, and then also following the footsteps of other international examples, we can develop an ecosystem that can attract other companies to co-locate, thereby increasing our economic diversity. API is one such company that we propose to relocate to Newcastle. Its size and operations are well matched for Newcastle's existing industries, manufacturing and infrastructure. And API will also benefit from locating here by reduced ongoing operational costs, and also by putting their research and development into a health precinct which is fit for purpose. The API presence in Newcastle would provide the pharmaceutical missing piece of the puzzle, and also validate Newcastle as health port and an international global health entity. I'll hand over to Sam now, who will run you through the agenda of the presentation.
Thanks, Chanel. So since you don't know, Chanel actually played a crucial role in our project as our project manager. She's also heavily involved in the writing of the report, doing our interviews, and she also organised those tasty little treats they get to enjoy this afternoon. So for our presentation this afternoon, we'd like to take you through our positioning and identity concept for Newcastle, which is HealthPort, the implementation plan for HealthPort and API, and some of the key benefits that HealthPort will offer the greater Newcastle region. So when we first started this project, one of the most critical components for us was how to best reposition Newcastle as a global city. And this certainly wasn't an easy task. We undertook a great deal of consultation with industry leaders, marketing experts, and certainly a lot of brainstorming as a team. We also undertook a research survey of non-Newcastle residents to determine what they currently associate with Newcastle's brand. And unsurprisingly, there are still associations of Newcastle with its industrial heritage, but there are actually very strong associations of Newcastle actually boasting a compelling coastal city lifestyle. So while other cities offer some lifestyle attributes, such as great schools, beaches, a university, job opportunities, a vibrant food scene, Newcastle actually offers all these lifestyle attributes. And this is one of Newcastle's competitive advantages. And we found a way to leverage this brand equity within our positioning strategy, which is Healthport. We also undertook some consultation with a marketing manager at Unilever around the repositioning of a brand. And I discovered that actually brand repositioning is actually quite a challenging thing to do. An easier and more effective approach is actually to take aspects of what a brand is already known for, actually amplify those so that they're in the front of the consumer's mind. And so for Newcastle, that involved taking its existing reputation for being a regional centre for health and innovation and its great lifestyle, and actually magnifying those attributes to promote Newcastle as a global centre for health, innovation, as well as a great place to live and work. So that leads to our positioning statement for Newcastle, which is for companies, students, entrepreneurs and investors who value a great lifestyle, Newcastle is a health tech innovation playground and a global gateway that provides world-class infrastructure and attractions to play, live and grow. So that probably sounds like a pretty bold statement, doesn't it? So let me show you why this is possible with our formula for Healthport. So firstly, Newcastle already has a very strong health ecosystem. So it's made up of Australia's #1 research university, New South Wales' leading training hospital, the Hunter New England Health District, as well as a global leading medical research institution, the Hunter Medical Research Institute. This is all supported through very strong existing collaboration among key health stakeholders, as well as a strong and dynamic health workforce. So Newcastle is also an innovation playground and considered by many to be one of Australia's top test markets for new products. Newcastle hosts a number of incubators, startups, co-working spaces, and it holds several national players in industry and research. Newcastle also offers sophisticated infrastructure. We've got an expanding international airport, and Newcastle is the only place in New South Wales where the national road and rail routes intersect with an international seaport. And finally, as Newcastle and Hunter residents, we all know that Newcastle has an enviable coastal lifestyle. So when looking at other global examples of cities that have successfully emerged as global health tech hubs, such as the Kendall Square Initiative, Toronto's Discovery District, Surrey in Canada, and Cleveland's Health Tech Corridor, there are three main attributes that these cities have in common to their success. So the first one is leveraging the strength of the city's anchor institutions, collaboration, as well as targeting industry clustering in a defined location. So Newcastle's already very well positioned to capitalise on these three attributes. The pieces are all here in Newcastle, and Healthport is bringing those pieces together, with API a crucial piece of that puzzle. So how do we position Newcastle then as a global health tech hub? Well, in order to do that, we propose that 3 interconnected innovation precincts be established and marketed as Newcastle's Healthport. So I'll introduce you to these precincts now. So precinct number 1 is our Newcastle City Technology and Innovation Precinct. This precinct is focused on tech innovation, startups, as well as housing our health company headquarters. Newcastle's Smart City strategy has already laid the groundwork for this key part of Healthport, and industry clustering can be encouraged through leveraging the existing partnerships between the University of the Newcastle, as well as future planned smart city infrastructure. So Precinct 2 is our John Hunter Health and Innovation Precinct. This precinct, and this planned precinct rather, as the name suggests, is focused on health and innovation, as well as housing our company R&D headquarters. So industry clustering can be encouraged through leveraging the institutional partnerships on site, as well as the integration of private, public and research all in one location, which is quite unique. Our final precinct is the University of Newcastle Education and Innovation Precinct. So this precinct's purpose is to develop the human capital to support Healthport's as well as Newcastle's future workforce needs. And we propose, by capitalising on UON's close proximity to the John Hunter and the availability of land, that this precinct continue to be developed as a place where industry and education partner together to plan, predict and respond to local and global needs.
So Healthport has a unique opportunity and ability to encourage and gain multiple health tech businesses to relocate to Newcastle. So Australian Pharmaceutical Industries has been identified as our target company that the Committee for the Hunter can potentially pursue and get to relocate into the Newcastle region. So API is an ASX listed company, healthcare company that primarily focuses on research, manufacturing and distribution of pharmaceutical products. Its operational structure is divided sort of into two divisions. So we have an Australian operation that focuses on the distribution of pharmaceutical products into retail pharmacies across Australia. And they also have a New Zealand operation that focuses on the research and manufacturing of some of those products. So why have we decided to choose API to come and locate into the innovation precincts? So when we look at it compared to other large ASX listed healthcare companies, API's structure and size provides a unique match to Newcastle's current economic ecosystem. With their operational divisions, it'll allow us to have a segmented relocation approach coming into Newcastle. The current headquarters of approximately 100 plus employees can easily be accommodated for in our Newcastle CBD centre currently. API's key focus areas of research, manufacturing and distribution align well to Newcastle's current strengths. So currently we have great strengths in medical research, advanced manufacturing, and also a well-established logistical infrastructure network that's here. Newcastle will also offer API the ability to consolidate their operations down into one location. And that consolidation will allow them to grow, innovate and collaborate inside a world-class global health tech hub that we're proposing. So as you can start to now appreciate, Newcastle and API, they complement each other and they will go together well. So together as a team, we've also tried to look at the bigger picture here, and we've looked at what company has some strengths that align to Newcastle and that Newcastle can support, and then how that company can potentially enhance those strengths moving forward and allow the region to grow. So I'd now like to invite you all to stand up and please join us over at the Innovation Precinct map so we can discuss with you in further detail the exciting long-term innovation plan for Healthport and API.
You guys want to come around, maybe make a semicircle here. Thanks, Andrew. So our concept will be implemented in 4 key phases. The first key phase will take approximately 5 years. As early 2020, we will commence engaging key stakeholders to introduce them to our key planning concepts. That's the likes of the university and John Hunter, but also API. Andrew mentioned the relocation of API. We have identified the Newcastle City Precinct as an appropriate location for the headquarters of API. We've identified this because of its growing diversified commercial, cultural and trade hub, and also its proximity to key infrastructure that's already in place and the developments that are already in proposal for that area. By 2025, the New South Wales Government is proposing to have the airport upgraded to carry E-class aircraft. That's essentially larger aircraft, which will support the manufacturing and wholesaling activities of API, but it also supports growing tourism to the Newcastle region. During this first phase, the health port concept will also be delivered and developed. As this starts to take shape, we anticipate that it will organically promote clustering and shared industry between the key industries, and specialisations will also start to form. In the next few years, API will also have the potential to tap into key investment and initiatives that are already underway in the Newcastle region. Specifically related to health is the John Hunter Innovation Precinct and also the STEM development at the university. So during this first phase, you can see that there's quite a bit of activity starting to take shape. Our concept also proposes to link these 3 precincts together with some infrastructure. So by 2021, we're proposing a rapid bus transit line to link the 3 precincts. By 2025, we're also proposing a light rail line, the innovation line, which will specifically link the Waratah station with the university and the innovation precinct. And then we'll support that further with some bike tracks and bike lanes to further enhance the connectivity of the 3 precincts together.
I think just to expand on that point that Brodie made about the Bright, so this isn't just about promoting, I guess, economic prosperity for the Newcastle precinct, for the Newcastle region rather. This is about promoting health and wellbeing, and Newcastle is a great lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle for the residents that are here as well.
So as you can see, just after phase 1, Health Port is really gaining momentum. And phase 2 will also see the Drumhunter Hospital Innovation Precinct build be complete. With that build being complete, we would expect R&D for API to locate to that precinct as well. That will connect them with leading medical research and staff as well. So the container terminal planning commences. So that's in line with the Port of Newcastle 2040 strategic plan, which would allow API to leverage containers for their shipping internationally. In addition to that, we have the airport distribution hub. So in addition to the port, API can also leverage the airport in the new Class E plane access. The container terminal build process will start towards the end of phase 2, and the end of phase 2 will see small to medium-sized health tech companies begin to co-locate. So as you can see, we're really breathing some fresh air into the region, and we're spanning, I think, a lot of the greater Newcastle area.
Thanks, Brodie. Phase 3, it will solidify Health Port into Newcastle region in 2035 and 2040. So we expect by 2040, Health Port will have grown substantially and attract additional health tech companies to co-locate in Newcastle region. Newcastle Airport distribution hub will be also built and operational. So based on the strategic plan of Port Newcastle 2040, the container terminal will be also built and operational. So based on that facility, API will commence manufacture, wholesale, and distribution activities through Newcastle Airport Seaport Logistics Hub. The University of Newcastle will establish a satellite campus at Drumhunter Health and Innovation Precinct based on the unique opportunity provided in terms of health research and education. This was strongly recommended by Jane Green. Also, in phase 3, we expect to see API, UON, and Drumhunter Health and Innovation Precinct will establish a strong relationship and collaborate heavily.
Thank you, Ben. So the 4th and final phase is essentially a glance forward to 20 to 30 years from now. By 2040, Health Port will be flourishing. We will see shared industry, clustering, specialisation between the key institutions, and this will attract growing biomedical, pharmaceutical and other health industries to the region to help diversify our economy. In terms of API, by 2040, API's R&D division will be well established and achieving global medical research breakthroughs, and also delivering world-leading products to the global market.
So as we stand here and look at that vision that we've sort of just painted for you there, I guess a small question could be asked, and something to think about is, I guess, how does that make you feel? And you can have a look at that and think about no matter what sort of medical challenges you yourself, your friends, your family, anyone close to you or anyone that you may know can't come into in the near future, world-class medical treatments, research facilities, all of that is going to be there available for them and accessible for them right at their fingertips. So, something for me personally, it certainly gives me a lot of comfort and pride knowing that I'll be living in that region that has that right there, and is globally connected by that.
Thanks, Andrew. I completely agree, and you can definitely see the benefits in this approach and our concept in total. I'll invite you to sit back down, and Ben and I will like to take you through some key benefits. So we all agree here that API would be a good fit for the area, but how does it benefit Newcastle? Conservative estimates indicate that API's establishment to the area would generate 500 new job opportunities internally within their business. With this in mind, the estimated economic benefit would be in surplus of $260 million per annum, and this isn't including the potential benefits that partnered individuals would bring to the economy. In the later stages of our timeline, and briefly mentioned by Brodie and Bin, we see that API's establishment would benefit the Port of Newcastle and the airport. By utilising the upgraded airways and runways, they would be able to use use the logistics and exporting potential to distribute their goods to our Asian Pacific neighbours, thus increasing our global economic diversity. So during our primary research, we talked with Dr. Ramsey from Hunter New England Health, and he suggested that Surrey was a direct comparison to Newcastle, especially in their current environment, specifically in the health sector. So a bit of backstory with Surrey is that their local developers were essentially struggling in their current economic environment, mainly in the residential and commercial spaces. And the local government were in need of real estate for their medical professionals and companies. So this led to a deal being established between the two parties, which led to their developers gaining a few benefits from that. And those include diverse property profiles, new revenues from growing industries, a lower risk from less volatile markets, and long-term sustainable revenue. So I guess what I'm saying there is, if Newcastle were to take on the health hub approach, we could see that our local developers could see a lot of the same benefits. So as for health benefits, during our primary research, we talked with Jane Gray, and she supported the idea that Health Hub and the cluster and the creation of clustered health hubs would deliver greater economic prosperity and deliver a higher quality of care. So when successful, the association with health to the area will in turn bring people to the area seeking employment, as they would have a guarantee of getting a job. This would lead to smarter people coming to the area and lifting the standards of care.
So in terms of health, Australia is considered a global leader in medical research. We must continue to ensure we have the optimal environment required to build, create, and nurture economical, resilient, and viable, fast-growth companies in health sector. The health hub provides the benefit of positioning Australia as a hub for health and tech companies to locate and serve globally, especially in the Asia and Pacific region, which is the home to 60% of global population, about 4.4 billion people. This would assist the developing countries in health sector in various ways, especially in the area like training, research, medicine development, and medical treatment.
So as for our educational benefits, the expected collaboration between HealthPort, API and the University of Newcastle would see an increase in STEM studies being partaken by students. This would in turn attract more medical professionals to the area, and the benefit of having these medical professionals is that the University of Newcastle would have the teaching resources available to them, and as more often than not, they will like to lecture at these educational institutions to maintain a sense of personal and professional development.
Health tech will attract not only domestic companies but also international health tech companies to co-locate in Newcastle. It provides a large platform for high-level health personnel to work together for tackling medical challenges. So the HealthPort concept won't be a disruptor of the innovation and technology. So the API would be in the position of the disruptor of the offering available with the capacity and technology available at the Newcastle area. So more innovative health technology and advanced medicine will emerge. For example, the viral therapy for killing cancer cells developed by Viralytics, led by Professor Shafrin from the University of Newcastle. So the promotion of collaboration by HealthPort will attract health professionals such as doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and researchers globally. This would enrich and diversify community culture and help promote the multicultural harmony within the community at the Greater Newcastle region. So all the benefits we talk about generated from the relocation of API to horticulture and the development of HealthPort concept will increase the visibility and the profile of Newcastle globally, and would finally reposition Newcastle as a global city.
Thank you, Ben. So just in closing, the key takeaway here is that we aren't displacing any current established industries in the area. We're only growing an existing one and diversifying the economy.
So as you can now appreciate, the health industry within the Newcastle region offers opportunity, growth, and is already home to some world-class medical innovations. The health industry within the Newcastle region has historically flown under the radar, but now is its time to shine. HealthPort will be the key to Newcastle being recognised as a global city. The HealthPort concept takes Newcastle's current strengths, links key anchor institutions of the University of Newcastle and the John Hunter Innovation Precinct, with a new market leader in API. As Nick pointed out, there are other markets within the region, but our concept doesn't cause any disruption to those other markets. Our focus has been on growth and diversification of an existing strong market within the Newcastle region. HealthPort benefits the extended community more than any other concept could. Healthcare is the region's largest employer, and as an ageing population, not only in Australia but in the Asia Pacific region as well. The healthcare sector will continue to provide growth and give Newcastle strong economic stability now and into the future. HealthPort also ensures, as we've talked about previously, that residents in the local area will have access to world-class medical treatment and research facilities right at their fingertips. As already detailed throughout the whole presentation and our report, API's fit into Newcastle is seamless. They complement each other. API is our missing piece to the puzzle. The Healthport concept is sound, well researched and has been thoroughly thought through. And this has been exemplified by the overwhelming support that we've received when we've engaged with key stakeholders within the region. So we attract $13 million in clinical trials. Within 10 years, we expect this to grow exponentially because we're investing in a precinct. So that was from Jane Gray at Hunter New England Health. Our track record of relocation is really good. When they come here, they stay. So that was from Bob Hawes at the Hunter Business Chamber. API, they would create jobs for employees and perhaps opportunities for research, and they could play a role in attracting other similar companies to the region. So that was from Loretta Baker, the Maitland Manor. We'll continue to invest in systems that allow us to centralise operations as part of reducing the overall cost of doing business. So that was from Jim Redfern at Australian Pharmaceutical Industries. So together we're asking you to join with us and the other key stakeholders within the region and show your support for the relocation of API by embracing Healthport. Healthport, Australia's global health hub and a medical innovators playground. So thank you very much for your time this afternoon with us. So it's been something we've been very passionate about is Healthport. I guess now if I can help facilitate some questions from you guys to the team, that would be good.
Great presentation.